Good day, good day. Welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Jay, and this is Homeschool Yo Kids Podcast. Before we get started, make sure you check out homeschoolyourkidsexpo.com. Check out our traveling schedule. We still have about 5 more states to go. I don't know. By the time this is published, we may be about that. I don't know. But check out our schedule. And also remember, homeschooling was never meant to be done alone. It takes a village. So major shout out to a couple of our sponsors that our mission to ensure that you find your tribe. Classical Conversations is a nationwide curriculum provider that also offers community support. And then we have Basecamp, which is an awesome new app, free to download, and it encourages community building. It offers different community resources in your area as well as families to connect with. So check them out. And let me try to get this right. Raquel. Did I do it
Raquel,
right?
yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Okay, Raquel, introduce yourself.
Ooh, what do I say? Okay, so my name's Raquel. I am a mom of 6+2. I've been homeschooling since 2019 here in Washington State. In the summer of 23, I started an online bookstore. And in the spring of 24, I started planning a homeschool conference in Washington, the Pacific Northwest part, because we haven't had one since COVID. And then that came to pass just the beginning of May of this year. And I also opened a small resource center and a brick and mortar store this year of 2025.
Oh my girl, you are doing it. Okay, because first of all, you still look good. Mama 6+2. That's wild. Still look young and vibrant, so everything must be going well.
Thank you.
Everything must be going well. But no, you have some great things going on.
Yeah, it is definitely a labor of love, and it's not for the faint of heart. So,
indeed. How did you get to homeschooling?
Good question. So my teenagers at the time were in 3rd grade, and we had moved to Washington, California. The schools over there at the time I thought were really good. Kids never got in trouble. I was told that they were explaining their studies, and when we moved here, they were always getting in fights. These little 3rd graders. Oh, you got it? Is it still there?
You kind of like stuttering. It's kind of freezing.
Okay. How about now?
Okay, that's better.
Okay. So my 3rd graders were getting into fights here in Washington, like little 3rd graders, like all these kids are fighting, literally like punching each other. And I would go to the school and nobody would do anything. And I said, okay, I'm done. I'm going to homeschool. And then I quickly realized that Washington has a lot of homeschoolers. Or at that time, there was a lot, and it's like literally doubled since then. And that was in like April of 2019. And I just haven't looked back since then. I've learned so much, and my 9, 5, and 3-year-olds will probably never step foot in a public school again if I can help it. I feel like our kids get such a better, well-rounded education at home. They're exposed to so many things that couldn't happen in a classroom setting with 20 to 30 other kids.
Indeed. How did you find your group? It's a lot. Like, you have a lot going on over there. So how many are you homeschooling? All of them?
Right now I have 4 in the home. They are in high school, elementary, 2 in elementary, and then like preschool age. And I still haven't found my group. I don't think we ever really do. We might have a season where it's going steady, and then something comes and it's just, we got to find it again. My high schooler is pretty independent and motivated on her own, so I don't have to really worry there. And then my 9-year-old, who's almost 10, she has her ups and downs where she can do independent work and needs a little help. And then my 5-year-old, well, in our state, we don't have to homeschool till they're 8. So my 5-year-old, who is a boy, and I say that because boys are way different than girls. I don't really push him yet because he'd rather dig holes outside. And then 3-year-old, who's also a boy, has no interest. So I just let him play all day.
Okay,
So,
gotcha. Are
yeah.
you a part of, because I know you have your community center, you have a resource, you have the Tailored Homeschool, and you do the convention. Do you have your own co-op, or are you a part of a co-op?
I don't have a co-op I wouldn't call it a co-op. What I do at the store/resource center is we host different classes, and most of them right now are for toddlers. And I made it for toddlers so that I could include my toddlers. I did do a lot of co-ops in the past, but for me personally, because I was having babies during that time, I would burn out like 6 months in. And so I tell moms, you don't necessarily need to join a co-op. And if you join it and then you burn out, it's okay to step back. Because there's so many here that I think a lot of new homeschool moms are like, oh, I need to join this. And I'm like, no, you don't have to. You can just go and have fun all day. Like, go to the beach, go to the lake. You'll meet tons of kids and homeschoolers, and that's okay. But I don't like committing to like a weekly co-op thing, even here at the store where I host classes, because I burn out and I don't want other moms to burn out. So we do them about every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks. Okay. What kind of classes do you have?
So right now we have, I call it Tiny Tot Science class, and it's for ages 3 to 5. And I try to incorporate story time, but sometimes I can't find a story to go with it. But we do a hands-on science lesson where they get to get dirty and messy and play with food coloring and exploding stuff. And it's fun because us moms want to do that, but not all of us want to do it at home. We want to do it where we don't have to clean it up.
Yes.
And so even me, like, I wouldn't do these at home, but I do them at the store because for some reason it feels like it's easier to clean up. And so we have that. We are starting this week an apologetics class for people of faith. And that's like whoever wants to join that. And then come the fall, we're going to do a like novel study, but more hands-on, where we incorporate science and hands-on stuff. So not just like worksheets. And I'm working on a few other things, like we have a local author teaching a novel, how to write your first novel. She's coming to teach that. We have, and I'm looking for other teachers to just come and teach certain classes. And the goal is to try to keep them super cheap or free, because in my homeschool journey, when I started, I had all these kids and I didn't have the money for it. Classes were like over $100 for a student. And I was like, how do we do this? And so that's why my goal is to always do free or really cheap.
Yes. Are you using any kind of curriculum with your own? As far as I know you're freestyling with the 3 and the 5, but the high schooler and the 9-year-old, are you using any kind of?
Yes, our core curriculum is master books, but we incorporate campfire curriculum, which is more like, it's just like a really fun way to learn, like through story. And we don't incorporate those worksheets. And then we do a lot of like real life stuff. Like if we're out somewhere and they find something and they kind of just go down their own rabbit hole. But for me, I feel like if we do workbooks, we're doing good, but I know that that's not true. And so I do the worksheets just to kind of help me with that, like stress and anxiety of that part. But then I know like, okay, they just need to play and be child-led and use games, and kind of taking my own advice that I tell other moms. And
Right.
So, yeah. And so it's definitely a mix of things.
Okay, I gotcha. Do y'all have a schedule that you're following, or is it just, every day is something different as far as how they attack their work and do their work?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So before we started the brick and mortar store and resource center, I wouldn't really say a schedule, but there was like, I guess the standard kind of was set already, like, okay, you need to have this stuff done by the end of the week. And then it's slow, at least for the high schooler, like when she was younger. And then as the years have gone on, I've been less like strict about it. And so as long as I see some growth in them, I'm okay with it. And now with the store, it's kind of just been, the workbooks are mostly they're not as high priority to me because they're still learning skills like in the store. They're learning how to interact with different people how to label books, organize them alphabetically, and put them online. And so they're still learning things. It just looks differently. And so that has helped calm some of that. And I would say that's mostly what they do all day, is just help me in the store and do all that. And then when we're not there, because we changed our hours so that we're not there every day now, and it's summertime here, and usually it's raining in Washington. So now it's summertime. We're like, we got to be at the lake on our days off. And so then they go and play and they make friends and they discover things, and they're still learning when they're there at playing. So.
Okay. Do you feel like you went through like a deschooling process where you were able to
Not at first.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Not at first, because when we first started homeschooling, I bought Saxon Math, which I think is a great curriculum, but I bought it because that's what I used in school. And I was like, that's all I knew. And so I started putting my kids in this, and I was like, looking back, they were not ready. And so I tried to recreate school at home, and that's not homeschool. And now I would say probably in the last 2 years really is when I really basically deschooled myself and started to realize, we don't need to do all these things, and school can look different. And I've been able to take what I've learned there and share it with other moms that are coming into homeschooling.
Yes, because you do like a consulting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a consulting.
Yes.
Is that with the Tailored Homeschool?
Yes. So everything falls under Tailored Homeschool. So I consult with a lot of moms, both local and nationwide. And a lot of people will charge for consulting. I don't. And what I've noticed here locally is, like recently on a Facebook group, I saw a lady saying, I consult for homeschoolers. This is my price. And I was like, that's a little odd. And so I messaged her. I said, how long have you been homeschooling? And like, what's your experience? She had none. She was just trying to make $1 off somebody. And I was like, no.
So what was her experience?
I think she has like an education or a degree in early childhood education. I was like, that really doesn't qualify you to homeschool. It can help, like if you've been a teacher or something, it can definitely help. But as somebody who has never homeschooled and then started a business to consult with, it made no sense to me. And I was like, why are you charging families? Like we have an influx of new people coming into homeschool just here in Washington, and people are trying to make money off of them. And I'm like, I'm over here doing it for free. Just call me. And it's for me, I feel like that's so sad to see, because families don't know any better. They want help. And then you have somebody just trying to make $1 off you, and they don't even know what they're talking about.
Indeed. That's why I like to have these type of conversations, because I know how, families really are up in the air of, okay, what way do I go? Like, which way do I go? Which way do I go? Because there are so many resources. Then you check out these Facebook groups and Instagram and all that good stuff, and it makes it seem like, oh my gosh. And I was talking to someone yesterday about like the RVing and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
She was talking about how like cliquish some things can be or whatever. I said, well, you should go to a homeschool Facebook group. I said, because it's oftentimes like cultish. Like, I thought this was about freedom. I thought we were free, you guys.
Yes. I've noticed that too. Like there are, like, okay, so when I first started homeschooling, I got to be honest, I thought everybody was a Christian. And I really did. And it wasn't really until about last year that I realized, no, there are secular and secular homeschoolers. And at that time, I realized secular doesn't mean what I thought it meant. Secular to me, I thought was atheism. That's not necessarily true. There are, or maybe it is true, I don't know. Different secular families have different views of what secular means. And so I've learned there are secular, neutral, and faith-based. And there's like this divide between everybody, and I am making it a goal in my mission to just bring everybody together, because like me, I'm a person of faith, but I have a lot of secular and neutral customers and families who come to me for advice, and I'm able to not be biased and help them find something that works for them, that fits their needs and fits their beliefs, and that's okay. And a lot of even just Christians are like, no, that's not okay. Like, okay, I'm going to talk about something probably controversial here. So, and In Washington State, we have an organization called Washington Homeschool Organization. It's called the WHO. They are like the pioneers for homeschool here. They are non-sectarian, meaning they don't align with any belief system. They are just homeschool laws and here to help you. And everybody knows them here if they've been homeschooling for a while. And one of the main people with the WHO, her name is Jen. And so everybody knows her. They like look up to her. She's amazing. Well, she was invited to go to a Pride event with the WHO. And so she went. And I guess in the past when she went, she would get a lot of side eye and just a lot of people talking crap and just whatever. And again, a lot of people think that homeschool is just for faith-based. So what she did is she hung a pride, well, like a rainbow flag in her booth to kind of just be welcoming and let people know, hey, I'm safe, come talk to me. And so she posted that on the social media and so many people just were hating. And I was, and these are people that you would consider brothers and sisters in Christ. I even had people messaging me saying, oh, I hope you get on the board and can change this. And I was like, I actually agree with her being there. And we're called to show the love of Christ. And if we can't, she's not saying, hey, I approve of what you're doing. She's saying, hey, I love you and you can homeschool and let me help you. And it was just, I just couldn't believe how much hate she got for it. And I had to message her privately. I was like, I agree with what you're doing and keep going. Like, it blew my mind. And homeschooling is for everybody. You don't have to be a Christian. You don't have to be a Catholic. You don't like, it could be for anybody and everybody. And I've actually just here in our state have seen so many people coming in who are not faith-based. They are coming in because their kids are getting bullied, whether they are part of, the LGBTQ or whatever their ideology is or whatever. And I'm like, so this is happening to everybody. This is happening to faith-based. This is like, so we all have something in common. And why can't we just come together and get along? We can agree to disagree and that's okay.
Yeah. Because everybody, my motto is your home, your way. Like, I feel like everyone should be free to choose what works for their family, what makes their family happy, what makes their family, reach the level of success that their family deems. Because everything is subjective as far as definitions go. About your success may look different than what I feel success is. Compared to your neighbor also. So I just feel everyone should just be okay with everyone doing them, as long as it's not harming anyone else.
Yes.
To speak on the secular, I posted a flyer in the secular group, and they immediately, one person commented and was just like, is this a secular event? And I'm like, it's all inclusive. And the lady put, I don't know, because she said classical conversations is up there. So she was like, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, guys, it's all inclusive. Like, I'm for everyone finding what works for them. That's my main thing. I'm not trying to lead anyone in any different direction. That's the same thing with the ESA conversations and as far as the money, the government. I know it's called something different everywhere else, but the government funding, all that stuff. I'm just like, okay, if it works for your family, then by all means, who am I to tell you not to use it or not to do it? Like, that's wild. That's for you. I'm gonna tell you what we do, but I'm not gonna tell you to follow us or like think that we need to lead you anyway, because it's really about what works for your family. And it is, things are so cliquish and cultish. I say cultish because I feel like that would make people like really like, like, clutching my
It'll
pearls.
make you think about it.
Yes. It's like, what are we doing?
That's so true. And I lost what I was going to say. It'll come back to me. But yes, the whole cultish, like, I think as a society, we have come to just kind of go with the flow instead of thinking for ourselves. And so homeschooling really helps us think for ourselves, which is amazing. Oh, I remember what I was going to say. I get a lot of moms who come in, whatever their faith is or whatever, I tell them, take what you get from me and everybody else, take it as a grain of salt, sift through it, find what works for you, what you align with, all of that, and throw out the rest. Like, there's not one size fits all. And you get all these groups. Like if you post something in a homeschool group, you'll get so many comments. And I'm like, well, first of all, you're confusing this new mom who's trying to homeschool her 3-year-old, who, by the way, shouldn't be using workbooks. And just keep it simple. And so I will, if I have the time, I will comment and say, hey, if you need help, message me. I'll send you a voice message, because reading through texts can be a lot, and I feel like it increases your stress. So I will send a voice message, and I almost every single time moms will be like, oh my gosh, thank you for sending me that message. Like I needed to hear it versus reading it. And if they're local, I try to encourage them to come. But I'm like, you don't need to follow the masses. Be different.
Please be different. Please.
Yes.
Like you said, the face of homeschooling has, for however long it's been white Christian families.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's been
Mm-hmm.
the thing. And so with these conversations, with, me traveling and hosting these expos, they're like, oh, shucks. Oh, people different.
Yeah.
He's not the mode that we thought it was. And it's wild that people still feel that way, even after 2020. But a lot of parents really don't think that it's something accessible for them to do because of the frame that they, the model that they've seen or heard about or think that homeschooling is. So I like changing the narrative. I like, showing different, and then having these conversations, because I've interviewed so many different homeschool families that just show they do something different. Like I've never talked to one person and be like, oh, you do the same thing. No, like everyone does something different. And I think that's so dope, because that's what it is about. Like as long as your child is progressing how you need your child to progress, then hey, what are we talking about?
Yeah, that's so true. That's so true. And every child is different. And they all have different goals. Even if we don't know what they're going to do when they're older, like they all have different goals. And there's no one size fits all, especially if you have a girl versus a boy. I've noticed that. I have it is night and day with them. At least in my case, because the boys are wild. They are wild. And I've learned, because I had 4 daughters before I had my boys. And the girls were, until they hit their teen years, guys, they were very mellow and just understanding, and it was fun. And the boys are just like Tasmanian devil all day.
And my girl, they off the chain. Okay.
Yes.
They are not calm or mellow.
Yes.
I will not use either one of those words.
Well, now that I have a teenager, and one is probably seems to be going through puberty, I'm like, oh God, the attitude. I was like, did I do this to my parents? Because this is horrible. So.
Right. You just got to remind yourself about the chemical imbalance that's taking place. Like, this is not you. This is not who you are. And I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to figure this out. I will tell you, I got this book recently. Oh, hey, Mom, hey, Princess. And it's like a journal that you write back and forth with your daughter. It's recommended for teen girls and their mothers to help create a bond built on understanding and trust. So me and my preteen have started using that, and I think that would be good, because we definitely have our moments where it's like,
that looks good.
Oh my gosh. So those teen years are definitely something to prepare for. But it can work. So I'm glad that you offered the consultation for parents free of charge, because like you said, there are people who are definitely running up a bag on the need for information. And that's all parents are asking for, is information. It's like, hey, can I just get a little direction? Because this is a brand new world. That's a lot of the families that come to the expos. They are ones who are thinking about homeschooling, or they're brand new to homeschooling. And so they're just looking for more information. So I appreciate that you're doing that, and that you have this resource, and I can't wait to check that out. How did you get to this forefront of leading like homeschool because the fighting got us to homeschooling. Like, okay, you're not about to be having a child, my third grader, having to knuckle up. But how did we get to, okay, well, these are resources that I feel I need, or this is what I think is needed, and I'm going to do this.
Well, for me, that's where my faith comes in. For me, it was really from the Lord. I felt called to do this, and He totally opened up the doors because I honestly don't have the money to pay the rent and stuff. But every month He provides, and I felt called to do this. And I got to be honest, I didn't feel called to do this for the person of faith. It was more for the secular families who are coming in and feel lost and alone, feel that there's nothing for them, or feel that there has to be a divide. That's not true. And there's not a lot of people of faith who are in like the homeschool business of things, who are willing to kind of just set their personal beliefs and ideologies aside, because there's like this stigma of, oh, if I hang out with somebody of, LGBTQ or whatever, I'm going to be called, oh, I'm not a believer. And I'm like, that's not the case. And that's not what Christ shows. Christ shows to come and show love. And, so that really is what it is for me. And a lot of my past, because I grew up way differently than, like, if you knew me who I was back then, you would be shocked at who I am today. And that really is why all this came to be, because at first I just started to sell books to make money to like buy groceries. And it just evolved into something more. Like God had a different plan. Like the conference, for example, I didn't have help doing that. Occasionally somebody would come in at a certain time that I needed help with, but overall it was just me. And I don't know how one person can literally do a whole conference. Like that was God doing it. He opened the doors to the location, to the sponsors that we had, to the speakers, to literally everything. I could not have done it without the Lord. And the same for the store. Most retail spaces are over $2,000. Ours is less than $1,000. And that's just, especially here in near the Seattle area, that just is mind blowing. And just everything has been just literally a blessing, and kind of just given to me and said, here, be a good steward of this. And so that's what I'm trying to do.
I know. Isn't it wild how things align once you start walking in your path? That's why I said, once you align with your path, everything just falls into place. Because I always,
Yes.
like, faith is everything. You gotta have it. You gotta have
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, I don't even know how you're going to all these states and doing, like, I don't know how you do this, because it was hard to just do one here. And you're traveling with kids. And that, I salute you.
Yes, but faith walk, faith. I am a spiritual. I'm not religious, but I am a spiritual being, and I just know I gotta trust the process, because I know
Yes.
it's well beyond me, and I do believe all things come together for the greater good. So I can align with individuals like you and everyone else that crosses this path, and I'll make it work. It's not just me; like y'all are making it work. The emails,
Yes.
the first email you sent me was to help. Like you asked me, "What do you need?" So,
Yeah.
no, I'm not doing it by myself, by no means. I'm just getting there. Like, I'm just getting there. But
Yeah.
it's definitely a collaboration, and I appreciate everyone that has hands in it. I really, really
Yeah.
do. And it's nice meeting all of y'all. And like everyone, just so many different spaces, different areas, but y'all are all striving for the same thing, to make sure your children are provided for, that they reach the level of success that you all are having, goal for your goals. So this is cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't wait to check out your center. What else do you have besides the books? You have books, you have classes. What else?
Well, right now it's not that big of a space. I don't even know how many square foot it is, but the back end of the store, or of the place, is the store where all the books are set up, and then the front end is where we do our classes. And I kid you not, every single science class has pretty much filled up that space. And I'm like, oh God, I need another space. I need a bigger space. And
And it will come.
yes, I'm praying for that. Right when it, right where I'm at right now in my little town, they're supposed to demolish it to next year to build like a big old sky tower of apartments, which is kind of sad. But I'm like, okay, once our time here is done, I know that the Lord will provide another space and a bigger space because these classes are filling up and it's showing me there's a need for it. And I might have to pivot what we do, like, cause like, I gotta be honest, the book sale as far as in person is not the best. And so I went from it being a hobby to like, oh, this could be a business, to quickly like, oh no, this is a resource center and that's what I need to focus on. And any sales that we get from the books help us keep that going. And yeah, that's what's been happening. I would love for somebody, go ahead.
No, I was going to ask, what kind of books are you selling?
Curriculum, whatever. Okay. So I do consignment. So any kind of whatever somebody brings in, I will sell it and they get a portion of the sales and then the rest goes to help pay like overhead costs. Okay. And so a lot of it is gently used curriculum, books, toys. Well, when I say toys, I mean like anything educational, like board games or like Montessori toys or things like that. Okay. And then, so that's what we sell there. I have one teenager who's a homeschool teen who creates shirts, and I offered her the opportunity to sell her shirts in the store, and she gets every single dollar from the sale so that she could pay for her driver's ed. And so I do that with a lot of local authors too. There's like 3 or 4 different local authors who have written books, and I carry their books in store and I do not make any profit off of it. Every dollar goes to them. And then there's like 4 different local, and when I say local, I mean in Washington, although this is open for anybody. They create different curriculums. And so I carry those in store as well. And I put them online too. So that way they can sell across all avenues and kind of just help promote them because they're starting from the ground up. And like when I started from the ground up, I wish somebody would have helped me. And so that's what I'm doing for them. And they keep every single dollar. I don't take any cuts out of it, which is kind of beneficial for them because when you sell a book, let's just say you're an author and you sell a book on Amazon, you're only making like $1 off of it.
Yeah, I know. So, I've helped people publish books at Amazon. It's definitely predatory with their what they take versus what the author gets. That's pretty wild. Yes. But they all take, but Amazon definitely takes the most.
Yes. Yeah. But right now, I'm just praying that people will come alongside me and start saying, hey, I want to teach this, or I can teach that, and utilize the space because that's what it's there for. And my hope is that in the future, we can get an even bigger space to host different classes and allow co-ops to use the space. Because a lot of co-ops here will go to a church to utilize the classrooms, but the churches are charging a crazy amount of money. And I
thought that was crazy. Like the more I learned that churches, because I talk to a lot of different co-ops or micro schools, and they're renting from churches, and it's just like, and what they're saying they're paying is really wild.
Yes. Yeah. And to me, it's sad because again, if a person of faith and yes, like we should be, yes. And if you look at what Jesus said that church was, it's not what it is today. So I actually call them buildings. I don't like using the word church. I say the buildings. I actually get a lot of hate for that. I'm not your typical Jesus follower. But yeah, and so the goal is to, once I get a bigger space, I can give it that space to co-ops for whether it's a donation that they can afford just to cover like the lights or something. And so that is definitely a goal for me. And right now I still offer it to them, but the co-ops are growing so fast that you can only fit about, because what I've noticed is even in my Tiny Tots class, we have about 10 to 12 toddlers and then their parents. And then the parents have like babies and stuff, so it fills up fast. So the space isn't that big to host like a big co-op. But eventually that is the goal. And I have my eye on a building here in town, and I'm just like, okay, Lord, make a way, because that would be perfect.
The way will be made. You are definitely showing and telling that if you build it, they will come, because
Yes.
I have that conversation a lot with parents who are looking for certain things and they're not finding it in their community. And I'm always just like, okay, well, build it, because someone
That's
else
what
is
I
looking
say.
for it too.
That's what I say. I've seen a lot of families across the whole board, and they're like, is there something that fits this? And I'm like, and everybody will say no. And I'm like, see, it sounds like you need to create it. But there's always more often than not, I come across an excuse. Well, my husband would always say, oh, you're making excuses. And I would always say, no, that's not an excuse. It's not an excuse. But now I agree. And so that's my new motto. Like, well, you're just making excuses. You got to go and do it. And I got to be honest, I've never been that type of person to say, I'm going to go do it. I wanted it the easy way. And if it wasn't easy, I wasn't going to do it. And I'm like, no, anything worth fighting, anything worth your time is going to make you fight for it. Anything worth your time is worth fighting for. And I tell these families, like, if it doesn't exist, go create it. Because if you need it, somebody else needs it.
Indeed. And they will come. They will come
Yeah.
as soon as they hear about it. I was just conversing with a parent yesterday. She said she posted in a Facebook group that she needed to carpool to like an activity. And the people said, well, if you don't have a car, this is what she said. She said the people said, if you don't have a car, then you may need to put your child in public school. And I said, wait.
No.
It's like, well, that's pretty harsh first. And I said, that's not your community. That means that you need to build your community. I said, if there's a park, a local for you to be able to walk to, if there's a library close to you to be able to walk to, start doing that. And then, build your community there, and then start talking about, hey, could you help me during this season, or this season where I'm not able to walk, or things of that nature. But I said, that's not your community, love. They told you to throw in the towel that quickly. That's not your community.
That is so sad. But, a lot of homeschool families have so many kids. They have the big passenger van. She needs one of those families to help her out. Yeah.
Indeed. But it's like, okay, don't settle on them. Like you said, with the co-ops and understanding, like, if it's not for you, it's not for you. You don't have to stick with something just because you joined it or you bought it. Same thing with curriculum. If it's not for you, it's not. Let it go, keep it moving, and find what's for you. Because you don't want it to be a bad process, or like, I don't know, you don't want it to not be fun. Like, I feel like homeschooling should be fun.
Yes. Yeah. And if you're not having fun, you're probably not doing it right. Although there are seasons where it can be a struggle. And I think that's a sign like, hey, step back. Because what I heard a lot throughout my journey is it's about the relationship with your child versus, I hate to say it, versus like the education, but it's that stigma that we have, because a lot of us moms and families come from public school. So we're trying to recreate that. We have that mentality that they put in us, and that's not what it's about. And so remembering that, but it can be hard to kind of get out of that.
Yeah, that's where the unlearning and relearning has to take place. And that's why I asked you about the deschooling, because I know that's a buzzword too. Like, you got to go through that process of, like, I've heard people say it takes 2, 3, 4 years, something like you said, hey, I'm just starting to deschool last year. Like, it's a process. It really is, because we have been so programmed to think, oh, this is how it needs to look. This is how learning looks. And that's why I put on my little tagline, let's reimagine what learning looks like, because learning takes place all day, every day. I think what you have your kids doing with you in the school, in your center, is like, that is prominent. Like, you're teaching them how to run a business. You're teaching them how to interact with people on a regular. Teach them how to do inventory and stuff, and alphabetizing things. There's adults that don't know how to alphabetize things. So, like, these are skills though, and it's all a part of, your legacy, your family, and what you all have going on, and you made them a part of it. And I think that's dope.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm still learning too. So we're learning together. Exactly. I got to tell you. So like last year, my daughter, my little one, her name's Emma. She was 8 at the time. We were doing her English book. And this is kind of embarrassing. That is when I realized the difference between all the theirs when I was teaching her. I was like, why did it take me till I'm in my 30s to realize the difference of all the theirs? Like this is, and so I like to tell families that because I'm like, that's very embarrassing. And so to tell a mom or a dad this, like, hey, I just learned this with my daughter while I was teaching her. So you can learn as you're teaching. You don't need to know it all.
Yes, exactly. And it's only embarrassing because that's like a trend now for people to be pointing out, oh, you're not using the right there or there. And I actually just had that conversation with my oldest because she was texting someone and she had put they are like they are, and I said no, you need to put the other one because you're not saying I like I forgot what the sentence was, but either way, we had that conversation. Kenny, thank you.
That's why I'm in my car.
Right? Exactly. Exactly. And I'm in my car, but it just so happens to be a house too. So, but yes, that is a conversation. I had someone comment on a post, yesterday, I think it was. The guy was like, because, I put the flyer, and he's like, way to show that you're killing it in the homeschool by using yo instead of your. I said, yep. That's all I put, yep. Like, because I don't know if you're trying to be funny or what, but I know why it's there, and I know how to use your.
Yeah.
I do have one of those pieces of paper in English, so understand, it's all intentional. But I always wonder what, the first thing, because we're riding around in the RV with Homeschool Yo Kids up there, and I had these two little mopeders pass me yesterday, and he was like, "Homeschool Yo Kids." I said, "Yes," and we'll wave and stuff like that. But I always wonder, the first thoughts of people when they actually see it. I know a lot of people think, "Is it real? Is this real?" I've had that because I asked some of the exhibitors in Jersey. They were like, "Yeah, no, I didn't think it was real at first, but then I went to your website and I saw the stuff, and it's like, oh, okay." So
yeah,
I get that.
But I like that you use that because if you say homeschool your kids with the UR, it's not as, I forget your saying about why you use it, but
it's informal. It's just
yes.
It takes all the formality of thinking that everything has to be by the book or the programming of the
Yes. And it makes it feel like, hey, I can do this because it's so informal. I really love it. So
I do too. No worries.
When I text my sister. My sister has my niece who's 5, and I'm like, "Girl, you got to homeschool your kids," because she lives in Vegas, and I'm just like, "You need to." And I say it to her like that because I feel like that would come across better than so proper. And I'm like, no.
Yes, because it's still destigmatizing the fact that homeschooling is associated with white, Christian, wealthy, most times, families. It's like, no, it's for everyone. Literally, your kids, all everybody, everybody.
Yes, I agree. I totally agree. And yes, there is a stigma that only rich people can do this. I am not rich by any
Girl,
means.
you and me both. The poverty line is here. I'm down here. Okay, I'm still down here.
I tell families like this. I have single moms. I have almost every homeschool family that I know is one income. And I'm like, you can homeschool. You need to, a lot of it takes sacrifice. We don't have fancy cars. We don't have a fancy house. We don't have that aesthetically pleasing Instagram homeschool room. Our house is a mess and it looks horrible, but it's home. And I'm like, I utilize clothing banks, food banks. We go to thrift stores for clothes. We use our buy nothing Facebook things for clothes. Honestly, the only new things we buy are underwear and shoes. All of everything
and
else
I don't even do the shoes, girl. I do those. I do that at the thrift store too.
Yes, we'll do thrift store, especially the little kids. But as let's just say me or my daughter, if I want my shoe to last longer, I'll go save up and go buy a decent shoe, and it'll last me 5, 6, 7 years.
Wow.
Yeah, I need a new pair of tennis shoes. My last pair of tennis shoes lasted me 6 years, and I wore them till they were ripping, and I was like, this is what it takes to do it, then so be it. And like, we live so humbly and so frugally, like, and we don't have any debt. Me and my husband have no debt. That really is because of him, because I'm more like, let's go. And he's like very responsible.
Beautiful
Um,
balance.
yes, yes. And, but I tell families, like, you need to get rid of getting your nails done. Learn to do it yourself. Grow them out and paint them. Um, Learn how to do your own hair, or don't get your hair done. I don't do my hair. Stop doing those vacations that you're putting on credit cards and giving yourself in debt. If you have a car payment, get rid of it and buy a car for cash. Like, we bought our car my car 4 years ago, cash. And it's not the prettiest car, but it gets us everywhere. And it had low miles, so it hasn't given me a hard time. And I'm like, you gotta make sacrifices. If you're a one income family or a single mom, you can do this. It's just gonna take a sacrifice, and you need to redefine what success means, because I feel like we have been programmed, or at least me, by the culture. So I'm Hispanic. I grew up thinking that success looked like going to college. Success looked like having that big house and the nice cars and being able to afford vacations and all this stuff. That's not what success means. Now, I recently made a TikTok. I was like, you know what success means? It means being able, because my baby was eating meat and berries. And if you have a baby who loves berries, you know how expensive those are, even if they're not organic. Um, and I was like, success looks like being able to afford to feed him healthy food, the meat and the berries. That's what I define as success. Success looks like your kids don't have to worry about being bullied, and they can learn at their own pace. Success has to be redefined, because the culture has made it look like I don't want to say this because that would be
Material
controversial
things.
too, but
No, you can
yes,
say it.
yes.
Like
Well, I
material
see, like,
things. It's like material wealth. Because even
yes,
even when talking about the American dream and
yeah,
the house with the picket fence and the 2.2 kid,
yeah,
2.5, I don't know,
yeah,
however
yeah,
it works or
yeah,
whatever. And it's like, well, how many people are actually living that dream?
yeah.
And
Not
why would
many.
that be your dream? Like, because we
Exactly.
all dream differently. And so
Yes.
to equate it all, that's why I said everything's so subjective, but everyone makes it so like, okay, so a societal norm, whereas,
Yeah.
okay, this is what you should be striving for. It's like, well, no,
Yeah.
I don't think that's my happy, because,
Yeah.
here I am. Like, people are still trying to figure me, family wise, are still trying to figure me out, because I have, 3 degrees. And like, my mom just doesn't understand why I just won't go back to the classroom or go teach here or go do this or just do something that will have me secure
Hmm.
in a sense. But even when I was in the classroom, I was not secure. I was
Yeah.
still probably lying here, I'm still down here. So
Yeah.
I'd rather be doing something that I feel fulfilled in and purpose driven, as
Yes.
opposed to just getting up and going to work every day and
Yeah.
then going home and then going
Yeah.
back to work and then
Yes.
I
And
don't want
that's
to do
not
that.
life. That's not life. It's just like that's not life. Life is, I don't know, for me, we're just by daily, like, okay, what's going to happen today? Like, there's still
Exactly.
some like norms, but there's a lot of what ifs and new things, and it kind of makes it fun. It's a little scary, but it's fun.
Adventurous. Yes, it's
And
real
just
adventurous.
redefining. Yeah. And something I heard over the weekend was confuse the culture. And I'm like, yes, we need to and by confuse the
Mm,
culture means like, because we see it all one kind of just it seems kind of black or white. And I think like, at least for the younger generation, because of social media, and it's like, no. And even me, like, I all like school, like public school, and the way I grew up and my young adult years, like, were just so like one way or no way, and that's not how it has to be. And I'm so glad that I don't see it that way anymore. I have so much more joy now when I'm just being me and enjoying the kids and enjoying what season in life I'm in right now, versus trying to achieve something that's not even real.
right. That part. That part. 2 more questions before you go. So I really enjoyed this conversation. One, with mother of six plus two, and all that you're doing as far as the homeschool world, consulting families, empowering families, working at the center, doing these classes. How do you self care?
I knew you were going to ask that. This is so funny. I just actually started saying this to families. I mindlessly scroll on TikTok and laugh my butt off at all the funny stuff that comes on there. That's my self care.
Right.
I mean, I will go and to feed my soul, I read my Bible and pray and listen to certain music. But to self care and kind of unwind, I scroll through TikTok mindlessly, and I'm not ashamed to say it.
Nice.
So about an hour and a half
good.
at night, I will do that.
I love it. And that's your time. That is your time to do. I know my little sister sends me a bunch of DMs on Instagram, and that's my little happy place too. Like she'll send me a bunch of funny stuff, and I just sit there when I'm able to actually catch up and just laughter is food for the soul.
Yes.
Laughter
Yes,
is
it is.
like that's what keeps us rejuvenated and
Mhm.
replenished because we need that.
Mhm.
We need that.
Mhm.
Definitely do.
Yeah.
What's three things that you would want to tell families if they didn't hear anything else? Hear this. Three things that you want them to leave this conversation with.
For the homeschool family?
Families in general.
Okay. Homeschool Yo Kids. You can do it. Just start. Just start.
Okay. Right. Like real easy peasy.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. Where do we find Tailored Homeschool?
If you're not local, tailoredhomeschool.com. All my information to contact me is there. You can email me, text me, and you're actually talking to me. I'm the only one doing this. If you're local, we're in Stanwood, Washington, and I would love to see your face. And I'm here to serve however I can. And if I can't help you, I'm going to find somebody who can.
Yes. Parents, listen. Okay, that's what it's all about. Remember, this is not something you have to do alone. They are beautiful people who are on a mission to ensure that you are supported. So reach out for that support. She's doing it for the free, okay? But for the free. She will walk you through it, talk you through it, or just guide you in the direction that you need. So definitely reach out because that's beautiful. That's really beautiful. But my motto, homeschool your kids.
Yes.